right, so the last type of symmetry we're going to be talking about is glide reflection symmetry. So glide reflection symmetry is if there is a reflection and a translation, such that after the reflection, then there's a translation and the design as a whole occupies the same location. So let's look at that freeze pattern again. So let's take this one design here. We're going to reflect it over this line of symmetry. So then it would kind of look like that. And then we would translate it to the right, and then it would result in this here. And it takes up, it's already on the design, and you can see that it repeats. So that is what glide reflection symmetry looks like. Notice that this pattern actually has translation symmetry also. So we can say this whole image gets translated to the right, right? So it's got more than one type of symmetry, and you can have more than one type of symmetry. Here's another design. It has two-fold rotation symmetry as well as reflection symmetry with respect to two lines. So let's see here. It's got a horizontal line. Ooh, let's pick a different color because it's red already. It folds in half that way. So that's one line of symmetry. And it folds in half this way, which is another line of symmetry. And it's got two-fold rotation symmetry. So here, if you look at it, I can rotate this section all the way over to here, and it's going to match exactly this section over here and then this section over here. So we've got three different types of symmetry. Well, we've got two types of symmetry, rotation and reflection, and then there's two lines of reflection symmetry. Whew. All right, let's do some exploring. So this exploration here is really fun. It's another Desmos one, and this one you're going to see how to make some drawings. So Google shape symmetry, reflection and rotation. Make sure you, when you do that, you should end up with a page that looks like this. Then go down to student preview and have some fun. Go through them, try your best, watch the videos. It's pretty cool. And then when you come back, we'll do some more examples. All right, so determine all the symmetries in design 3 and design 4. Consider each design as a whole. For each design, describe all lines of symmetry, if the design has reflection symmetry, and whether it has these kinds of rotation symmetry. So let's start with just reflection symmetry. So let's see here. Well, already I kind of like to go down, right? It's got one line of symmetry that way. And I can actually, this heart shape, right? This repeats. So I can actually cut it this way through that heart and this way through that heart. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then I could actually go in between the hearts, right? So I could say, all right, this actually folds too, right? 1, 2, 3, that would fold on itself. So then that means this would fold on itself and this would fold on itself. So that's 1, 2, 3 again. So that's 6 lines of reflection symmetry. And if you're not sure, draw this image on your paper and fold it those 6 ways and see that you end up getting 6 lines. And I can kind of draw them here so you can see the 6 lines. Okay, so then let's talk about rotation symmetry. How are we rotating this? Well, this heart here is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back to itself. So it's got 6-fold rotation symmetry. Because if I had my center right here and I took this heart on top, it's going to rotate and repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and come back to itself. Let's take a look at this one here. So let's think here. If I was to cut this in half here, this would fold onto that, that would fold onto that, that would fold onto that. So there's one line of symmetry. And it looks like this shape, these two leaves together, repeat. So it looks like I've got 3 folds of symmetry, 3 lines of reflection symmetry. Now, again, you might be thinking, oh, can I go any other way? But see how if I were to even cut it there, that doesn't reflect onto that. So those are my 3 lines of reflection symmetry. And now let's look at the design itself and see how it rotates. So kind of here, if I were to take this shape and rotate it, I would get it here again. Would rotate right onto itself, and then rotate, and then rotate. So that would be 1, 2, 3. So it's got 3-fold rotation symmetry. Let's look at some more examples here. This is the same question with 2 different designs. Whew, these are going to be a little more complicated here. Okay, so I can see already here that I've got this line right down the middle, and I should pick a different color than what we've got here. And so if I cut through that guy, I could probably cut there, yep, and there, and there. So how many lines is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So that's 4, and then let's see, what about if I go through the triangles? That cuts good, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So another 4. So that's 8 lines of reflection symmetry. Whew. All right. And then let's look at the rotation. So if I kind of think of this, let me get a different color. If I think of this here as like half the triangle, maybe that's one way to think about it. I could rotate onto this one, and that would reflect 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 back to itself. So it's got 8-fold rotation symmetry. All right, and here, now the only difference between this one and this one is that we've added these corners, and that is going to make a difference here, because before I could cut in different directions, but here I'm still going to have 1 line of reflection, and here I'm going to have 1 line of reflection. Those kind of fold onto each other, right? And then in those corners, I'm going to have a line of reflection. But that's it. I can't do, before I could do those triangles, but I can't now, because if you see here, this is not cutting that blue square. So this is only 4 lines of reflection symmetry. So, and then it's kind of the same idea for our rotations here. Let's see what rotates. We kind of want to take the corner. We have to take that whole corner, because that corner has to map onto itself. So this space is going to go to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4-fold rotation symmetry. So let's do another example. What types of triangles have reflection symmetry? Okay, what types of triangles are there? We've got isosceles triangles, which have 2 lines that are the same. We've got equilateral triangles, where all of these 3 lines are the same. And then we've got scalene, right, where nothing is the same. So what types of triangles have reflection symmetry? So let's look. Well, this one I can fold, right? And that's going to give me a reflection. So I know isosceles triangles. And then equilateral, I'm going to have it this way, I'm going to have it this way, I'm going to have it this way. So definitely equilateral. But there's no way to cut a scalene. So what types of triangles have rotation symmetry? So let's look at an isosceles triangle here. If I were to cut this in any way, could I rotate it? Like, if I kind of cut it, no, that's not going to really, there's no way to rotate. But the equilateral triangle, I could take a piece of that. I could take this piece here and rotate it, and it would land perfectly in there, and then rotate it and it would land perfectly in there. So that does have rotation symmetry, and that's because all those angles must be congruent. So equilateral triangles are the only ones that have rotation symmetry. Go ahead and give this one a try. Press play when you're ready to see the solution. And then give these a try. Press play when you're ready to see the solution. And that concludes section 14.2.